From the beginning, we absolutely wanted a product with charisma. It was a real challenge. It's not that it wasn't possible, it was almost impossible. In development alone, it's an investment of several million euros. And so now we come to the TAG Heuer Avant-Garde Communication Project. This idea of a mobile phone goes back several years. Thomas goes back to the origin of this project, quite a risk. In the end, the idea of the mobile phone came from frustration. We were all together at a product meeting, working hard on a chronograph with incredible detailed finishings, and around the table, we all had those mobile phones, which were so far away from our aesthetical criteria, and we realized that our customers were having the same problem as us. They weren't proud of their phone. At TAG Heuer, we believe that a mobile is something that you use to make important professional decisions. It's also your link to your family and friends. It's indispensable and deserves more emotion and attention than it currently has. To begin with, we are not mobile phone manufacturers, but we put together a team of experts in mobile communication along with watch designers, and our product development teams at TAG Heuer's office in La Chaux-de-Fonds. If the idea is original, then the entrance of the famous watchmaker into the mobile communication market is still somewhat surprising. But taking a closer look, it's actually not that surprising. The history of TAG Heuer has always been full of daringness and innovation. The first Heuer watch manufacturing workshop was founded in Saint-Imier in the Swiss Jura. It's 1860, and son of a shoemaker, Edouard Heuer, throws himself into the watchmaking business to demonstrate his creativity. At just 20 years old, the young man has only one idea in his head: to improve the keeping of time. Edouard Heuer is quickly going to achieve his goal. A genius inventor, he registers dozens of patents, and in 1886, the high point of his career with the revolutionary concept of the oscillating pinion. In 1966, the brand invents the micro-timer, which pushes the limit of timekeeping to 1/1000th of a second. As the one who was the first to introduce digital into the brand products, today TAG Heuer's entry into the world of mobile communication is an almost logical progression. Going into the mobile phone market is not the first brand diversification. In 2002, TAG Heuer launches itself into the world of eyewear. Sunglasses, spectacles. It offered a whole new range of products, and it was met with success. A success that now strongly reassures the brand as it's on the verge of its next diversification. Moving on from glasses, now a brand new phone. Behind all these innovations, always at the height of technology, are in fact hidden age-old methods. From the world of Swiss watchmaking, the relentless quest for excellence, the extreme attention to detail, to fully understand the significance of this knowledge, direction Switzerland. TAG Heuer is certainly not a mobile phone operator. The brand called in Model Labs to make the phone. Already a specialist in the development of on-demand mobile phones for renowned brands, Model Labs over the last 3 years has worked closely with TAG Heuer development and design teams. The design was done by Christophe Belling. The London-based artist has worked for the Swiss brand for a long time, notably at the beginning of the Carrera Calibre 360, as well as the Monaco concept chronograph. Christophe was inspired by TAG Heuer history and the rules of watchmaking.
For me, to design a watch is to design a tool. It is a tool which you have always on you, and it's a tool which has to give you perfect time wherever you are. And particularly if you think about TAG Heuer, you have this whole history of timekeeping. So when the opportunity came to design a phone, this was obviously the first angle to take. So we thought, let's design it like a tool. Let's design it like a tool which allows us to talk, but also tells us the time. So we designed it in principle like a stopwatch, and with it came very early the idea of the second screen. The second screen is not a toy and it's not a gimmick. It is an idea which allows you, again, use it as a tool. I can put it on my table, I can see the time, I can have it in my pocket, I can see it as at my time, and I can see who's calling, I can say if I want to talk or I don't want to talk, I have all these opportunities. And then we spend weeks and weeks to find the right shape. So we created all these shapes and figured out which one fits best, which one has the best balance in terms of weight, until we finally achieved at the perfect shape, which is now this one. And That is then still sort of the easy part. The difficult part then is once you have the concept and once you have the shape and everything is perfect, then you still have to realize it. And obviously you're trying to do something which nobody has ever done before. Nobody has done a luxury mobile phone to that degree with that level of innovation in it. And then it's enormously challenging to bring all these ingredients of watchmaking, which we know from all the designs of the watches we designed in the past, and to bring it onto the phone, have the same finishings, have the readability, have it work at night and have it work at day. And that takes weeks and months and years before it's perfect.
It's here in a dedicated workshop that the TAG Heuer mobile phone is assembled. It's here that we can fully understand the difficulties encountered by TAG Heuer and Model Labs in the engineering of the product. In this phone, there are more than 430 components, of which 50 are from the watchmaking environment. It has simply never been seen before. A product made of 316L steel, 2 scratch-resistant sapphire crystal displays, finishings and materials unseen in the mobile phone industry. The production of a mobile phone had to be redefined. We are at the crossroads of two professions. On one side, the phone profession, making sure that it stays a phone, and on the other, watchmaking. Therefore, we have two production lines, one line for the phone, which is relatively accomplished, and parallel to that, we have the conventional watchmakers' benches, on which is assembled the final product, in line with watchmaking criteria. On all of the assembly lines, the operators have been specifically employed for their knowledge and their visual prowess. Their job is complex. Each phone has to be assembled by just one person, a necessary change. We are a long way from the classic mobile phone production methods. We have to undoubtedly rely on the know-how of these people, and that is extremely important. Even more importantly, once each phone is assembled, it's going to be scrupulously inspected by Olivier Jeng, Quality Control Manager at TAG Heuer, and in the minutest of detail. In this search for perfection, stemming from 150 years of history, TAG Heuer is committed to quality. During this phase, one phone out of two goes back to production. For the others, it's the start of 57 reliability and quality control tests. Tests which could not be handled by the classic mobile phone. I can remember well the first time I operated the machine that activates the 1.60 m drop of the product onto concrete. You're seeing the product in which you put so much time and effort, in which you test to the limit of almost destruction. It's quite emotional. And now the time is here. 5 years since the project launch, 3 years of product development. The TAG Heuer mobile is ready. I have to admit that there were times when I had some doubts. Will we be able to succeed? Now I think we are producing something which is absolutely perfect. What's interesting is when you look at this and you look at the first drawing we did 2 years ago, and it's in the same esprit. And we made it digital.
Yes, and it works.
The telephone is ready to go to market. All that is left is to find a name. After several weeks of reflection and brainstorming, the chosen name is a mix of the words meridian and specialist. Meriadiste with 2 eyes, which gives 2 vertical lines, and obviously it's quite an appealing visual feature. And although the name may at first be a little unusual, it becomes interesting, which in the end catches the attention and helps you remember it. As it's important to have a name with a meaning and a uniqueness, because it's never been heard by anyone before. An avant-garde spirit, the creation of new trends, innovation deeply rooted in its history. TAG Heuer is once again at the start of the next chapter. The history of a watchmaking brand has always been about joining the future by preserving the past, coming full circle. TAG Heuer was born in 1860 in Saint-Imier, Switzerland, with its pocket watch, and with the Meridius we finally have today TAG Heuer's pocket watch of the 21st century. It's exceptional to have a revolutionary pocket watch 148 years later. Revolutionary because it's displaying time differently, a digital time. It's also a perpetual calendar, but above all, it's a time which allows global communication, and all of that is in the Meridius pocket watch.